Hi everyone, welcome to another devlog for Alio, my 2D Metroidvania that I've been developing in Unity for the last few months. There's a lot of general progress to catch up on in this video, but first I have an announcement. I'm aiming to release a very early demo of Alio by the 24th of September. I haven't decided yet whether it will be released to everyone or only to a small number of playtesters. If it is the latter, I'll post a Google forum closer to the time, so make sure to subscribe or join my Discord so you know when that happens. It'll be to gather feedback on the core of the game, so that I'm able to iterate on it before going on to produce content. For now, I have a lot to show you, from combat improvements to a newly animated player character, so I hope you enjoy. I've been focusing on refining and fleshing out many of the basic game systems. The first big improvement was this new player character, which you can see here, alongside a sketch I made when creating the design. Thanks to all your feedback in the last video, I made what I hope are improvements, and I've created animations for running, jumping, fighting, and most other gameplay scenarios. The next big change was the addition of the Stomp, Alio's central movement mechanic. It works by reflecting the player's velocity when they hit the floor, allowing for more vertical platforming and interesting level design scenarios. I hope to expand this ability with secondary mechanics, like platforms that break when they are stomped, or hazards which do not damage you if you hit them with this ability. I also want to add orbs that replenish the stomp mid-air, allowing the player to chain together multiple uses. This ability will be unlocked in the first area. I've also implemented a main menu and a saving loading system using this tutorial by Shaped by Rain Studios. It has save slots, save clearing, save loading, and an auto continue button. The art for the menu is still placeholder, but I'm looking to fix this before the release of the first demo. This was a big task to get out of the way for me, so I'm really glad it's done and should be easily expandable from this point. The one unfinished aspect is saving the player's unlocked areas on the map, which I'm hoping to complete soon. Now, the main thing that I've been working on the last few months is the combat. I wanted to add more depth to the system, as in the last devlog it only had a simple side slash and a grab ability that I've since removed. The biggest thing I implemented was a combo system. You're able to chain 3 attacks together, each dealing increasingly high damage. The combo input window is fairly generous at the moment, but this could change as I continue to iterate on the system. To complement this more static, strategic combat style, I added a Dark Souls style roll, which allows the player to bypass enemies. This allows them to chain together multiple combos in a way that feels really satisfying. One nuance of this system that I'm undecided on is the knockback. At the moment, the last 2 attacks force the player to lunge towards the enemy, and they are knocked back the same distance. This works well for these smaller enemies, but could become irritating when fighting a boss who doesn't get knocked back. I'm hoping to get feedback on this from the demo. I also added lots of particles to the player's attack. I'm not completely done adding effects yet, but I'm happy with how it's shaping up. Alongside the combat, I've been putting a lot of work into the health system. Currently, the heal mechanic is based on respawn anchors. These respawn the player at their location 3 times before being destroyed. I implemented these to allow me to increase the difficulty of the platforming in the game without forcing the player to constantly run across the map from the last checkpoint position, although I am mindful that this could disrupt the Metroidvania game loop. You get 2, indicated by this UI. As a trade-off, you can also consume them to gain 3 health in combat. Once you have placed one, however, it can only be destroyed either by using it up or reaching a checkpoint, so you'll need to be careful where you place them. The only drawback of this system is that at the moment the heal option isn't very viable, as you can easily get more health out of them by placing them than actually consuming them. I need to work to balance these 2 options. My current idea is to limit the respawn anchor to a single room, so it will be destroyed if you leave. That way it will allow you to get plenty of tries at a really difficult platforming section without disrupting the level design too much and introducing too many variables. Either way, I think I've made a good start and this system will improve with iteration and playtesting. I've also added checkpoints and got them working with the save system. They are drinking fountains, and you can drink from them to restore both your health and your anchors. I made this small animation where the player sits down and drinks from a cup, which I'm pretty happy with. I think it sets the kind of relaxing atmosphere that I'm going for. The final big feature that I worked on was audio. I used another tutorial by Saved by Rain Studios to integrate Fmod with Unity. Using an external audio solution has been really helpful so far, keeping my audio separate and allowing me to implement loads of more advanced effects while keeping my code clean. Here's a snippet of the game audio so far. I'm trying to keep adding effects as I go to minimize the backlog. Finally, I did a bit of level design for the planned demo. I implemented these tutorial prompts which teach the player the basics of the game and designed some slightly harder levels to test the player's platforming skill. I implemented these spikes which reset the player to the entrance of the room they are in, which allow for some much more difficult precision platforming challenges. So now we've come to the end of most of the changes that I've made in the last month or so. So what's next to get the game ready for an early demo? At the moment, I'm working backwards through the features I've already added and polishing them, adding particle effects, visual feedback, sounds, and more precise physics. Next on my list is the death system, adding death animations, screen effects, and sounds. I've already added this overlay when the player is on low health. Once everything is feeling more polished, I want to add a bit more content, 1 or 2 more enemies, some pickups, and more level design. Depending on time, I might implement a dialogue system on 1 or 2 NPCs. Now, in the longer term, I'm now reaching a stage with the development where most of the main systems are nearing completion. The only big untouched area is the player's meta progression, stat boosters, upgrades, and consumables. Once that system's fully designed, I'll really be in the content production phase, adding levels, bosses, story, and so on. The demo should be a chance to bug fix and test what I've built so far before moving properly into that phase. For now, I hope you've enjoyed this devlog and you like the direction that the game is going in. Any feedback is always appreciated in the comments. I hope you have a good day and I'll see you in the next one.